Stop! Today is kind of a special day because we're talking about gimbals. My favorite gimbal ever, which is the Zhiyun Crane version 2 versus Zhiyun's newest Crane 2. Wow, this thing is so thick.
Got the look on your face. It's too hard to explain, but the worst is the pain when you pronounce my name and you say Gloria, please.
Let's start talking about the Crane version 2. Now, I bought this gimbal around a year ago and it's been on every single project I've shot ever since. You could basically say I've fallen in love with it. But instead of just showing you boring slow motion walking and orbiting shots, I want to show you what you can achieve with this little guy here by compiling different projects I've shot over the last 12 months or so. Here we go, enjoy!
Zhiyun Crane version 2 does a fantastic job. It listens to your movements well, the grip feels comfortable, and it doesn't get exhausting after using the gimbal even after a couple of hours straight, if you are used to it, that is. I'd say the biggest weakness for this gimbal is the weight capacity, but other than that, it has always done the job I wanted it to do without any major issues. Right out of the box, you will get this hard case which looks pretty damn professional. In this case, you can find 2 batteries which last 12 hours according to Zhiyun, the battery charger, default mounting screws, lens mount thingy, USB Type-C cable, and the gimbal itself. My only problem with the case is that it can get quite annoying to carry it in longer distances, but other than that, it's pretty sweet. The 12-hour battery sounds great, but even with the well-balanced gimbal, you're more likely to get around 8 hours of battery life. And when it comes to weight, it starts doing a weird nod when over 1.2 kilograms. This is a solid compact gimbal and I really love it because of its size and grip. The gimbal has become like a family member for me and I find it very reliable. However, this family member can get quite annoying. Let me point out some of the issues I've found out. First of all, there is no mini tripod included in the package. This means I either have to use a tripod or put it on the ground and hope I don't slip. Or else I can break not only the gimbal but the camera as well, and trust me, I've slipped many times. Figuring out the mode you are in can get quite difficult, and not knowing how much battery life you have left can get nerve-wracking, especially if you're filming weddings and events. Last but not least, when you shut down the gimbal, your camera or lens can slam into the gimbal if not balanced perfectly, and that also has happened to me many times. These are only minor issues and I am quite used to them, so they don't cause me headaches anymore. But then Zhiyun released a new gimbal, Zhiyun Crane 2. Not only does it come with new features such as follow focus and OLED display, but it has fixed all of those minor issues I previously pointed out. Now this gimbal is definitely something. I've had it for about a month now and it feels roughly the same as the Crane version 2 when it comes to usability, so understanding how it works was really easy for me. First, let's check out another edit I made by compiling different projects I've shot with the Crane 2, and then let's get to the pros and cons. Zhiyun Crane 2 is a joy to work with. It was reacting to my movement very fluid, definitely runs smoother than the Crane version 2, and with this gimbal you can actually run full speed and still get usable footage, whereas with the Crane version 2 it was a lot shakier. Since the Crane 2 can handle heavier payloads, I managed to put my whole setup, Sony Alpha 6500, Sigma 16mm with ASDN microphone, and even put a follow focus on it and then balance it without any issues. For some reason, balancing was a lot quicker, easier and smoother on the Crane 2. Personally, I didn't like the grip at all at first, but then I slowly got used to it, but it still doesn't feel nearly as good as the Crane version 2 grip feels. One thing I wish they would have done is make the Crane 2 lighter and the grip tighter. I had to take a break after every 30 minutes, so yeah, it's pretty thick. But you can definitely tell Zhiyun went full out on this gimbal. For me, it's almost the perfect tool. Very impressive, Zhiyun. This time we are given a more modern looking case. It looks more dope and it feels more professional as well, but it's not as solid as the Crane version 2's case, so unfortunately I cannot lean back on it anymore. In the case you can find 3 batteries instead of 2, a new battery charger, mini tripod, yes, finally! This little sweet looking case full of cables for Sony, Canon and Panasonic cameras, and of course, a beautiful looking Crane 2. I also got the follow focus, but that was received in a different little case. The batteries definitely last a lot longer than on the Crane version 2. The first time I used it, I managed to get around 14 hours of battery life, which is sweet. Also, the bigger weight limit is seriously the best thing ever. Not only I can put my full setup on the gimbal, which is around 1.5 kilograms, but it is also much easier to stabilize and balance it. Controlling the camera settings from the gimbal is also a dope feature, but I don't really use it a lot because I am too used to controlling the settings within the camera. I am not very good when it comes to changing habits, that's for sure. So, to sum up everything, these are the things I love about the Crane 2. Weight limit, which is 3.17 kilograms, OLED display, follow focus, solid motors, balancing, and of course, mini tripod. In the conclusion, I don't think it will fully replace my Crane version 2 because as a run-and-gun shooter, I need to be mobile at all times, and being exhausted carrying the gimbal for a whole day without breaks can become very dangerous for your shoulders and back. Also, as of today, I don't have a big enough backpack to be able to put in the Crane 2. In my opinion, these are the only 2 cons with this gimbal. This means I'll be using both the Crane 2 and the Crane version 2 depending on the project. So, the ultimate question, which one should you get? If you film a lot of weddings, events, travel videos and don't have a car as a means of transport, I'd recommend you to go with the Crane version 2, because you can drop it in a small backpack and be on the move. It also is a lot lighter, so you will not get exhausted as quickly. It's not as solid as the Crane 2, but if you need to get shots quickly, I think it's the best option for you. Now, if you film a lot of short films, music videos, sports videos, real estate, drifting videos, Crane 2 will be the way to go. Because of the solid motors, you will trust this gimbal a lot more than the Crane version 2. And if you are using a camera which doesn't have a good autofocus, not only will you be able to pull focus with the follow focus, but control your camera settings on the Crane without touching the camera, which is awesome. You will also be able to see which mode you are in, as well as the battery life on the little OLED screen. That is fantastic. By the way, if you have a lens which supports manual zoom, try putting the follow focus ring on it and then you can create a dope looking vertigo effect. I previously made a tutorial on vertigo effect, so be sure to check that out in the description. Peace!